Hello, my name is Kelsey Cortez, and today I will be presenting Behavior Resource List for cooperative learning strategies that can be incorporated into the classroom. We will do a general overview of cooperative learning, as well as current research and findings in the field. I also included great teacher resources that can be used for teachers that may not know how to get started in the classroom. I also have classroom strategies that have been helpful for other teachers and administrators along the way. And I've included several cooperative learning strategies and activities that can be implemented in your classroom right away. As we move from the traditional model and into a more inclusive model, there's many things that we can look at. One article takes a closer look at the effectiveness of the traditional classroom model, where students are lectured and tested in a traditional manner. In this study, it found the classroom in which student behaviors were increasing, and the old ways of handling behaviors were needing to be re-examined. I feel like a lot of schools are reaching this point where the traditional ways aren't working for their students, and we're having to find more creative outlets for students to be able to express their intelligence. Cooperative learning is a great way to start this process in your classroom. There are also some common misconceptions that I wanted to go over about cooperative learning before we get started. One article looks at the incorporating informal cooperative learning strategies in order to create a more productive teaching environment. The objective of this article was to study the effects of implementing team teaching with cooperative learning strategies on 32 first-year students. Teachers were concerned the strategy would create more work and effort, and that it would be more difficult to monitor all of the students who were studying in groups. The study found overall that teacher workload was lowered, and that it was easier to monitor students because they were actively engaged in materials and activities. This goes over some of the current research and studies. One study that I found interesting looked at 8 7th graders in a public school in Columbia that were doing poorly in English. The teacher used 5 strategies, including positive interdependence, promotive interaction, group processing, cooperative learning skills, and individual accountability over 3 planned lessons. Even though the study found that overall it took more than 3 lessons to incorporate cooperative learning strategies with their students, that overall the groups were more engaged and actively learning in the activities because of cooperative learning strategies. Another article examines the use of multimedia platform through cooperative learning strategies in English. As we all know, students are incorporating their phones more and more into the classroom environment, and I find it helpful for teachers to try to utilize these desires and incorporate them more into classwork, and that students will become more actively engaged. The article found that through these strategies, students learn how to work together as a team and independent learner skills that help them navigate the media platform. Teacher could use this information to incorporate media in the classroom that will show students how to use the resources that are available to them. Another study examined the effects of cooperative learning strategies in a science classroom with 163 elementary students. Students were assigned 2 instructional methods and taught the same science lesson, and then tested before and after to see the effectiveness of the strategy. The study found that implementing cooperative learning strategies does increase student learning and social skills. Finally, this article examined a unique way that teachers can help students overcome fears and low confidence in public speaking by giving oral presentations. This study helped 12 8th graders create their own radio show online, where they designed and created the talk show from start to finish. Even though students were hesitant at first to get started, once they got involved in the activity, it really helped promote the group and learning overall. I also wanted to include several resources that teachers can use for incorporating cooperative learning techniques. I know that overall sometimes it can be kind of intimidating to do lots of group projects and that it can seem daunting. So these resources should be very helpful for this process. One was a book about cooperative learning for intercultural classrooms. And it provides a great general overview of cooperative learning and ways that teachers can implement these types of strategies. Another is a website that details cooperative learning strategies that can be helpful for students to be successful in the classroom, especially with those of you that have English language learners. I find that the population of English language learners is generally increasing, and that this could be a very helpful website. The final website that I have gives teachers an in-depth information and strategies that they can use to implement cooperative learning strategies in their classroom. And it specifically looks at group work aspects of cooperative learning, focusing on strategies such as peer-to-peer instruction, student adaptability, and small group activities. Implementing cooperative learning in the classroom. There are some common teacher complaints about how to, and there are some common ways that we can combat them. Ways that we can, one common teacher complaint is one student doing all of the work for the group. Students picking up on each other when struggling to understand materials and not taking cooperative learning activities seriously and playing through the assignment. Ways that we can combat these problems are by forming interdependent teams, setting up group goals, holding individuals accountable, teaching communication and problem-solving skills, and teaching cooperative learning within other structures of the classroom. Another article that was written by a science teacher that I found helpful from the teacher perspective found that after consistently applying cooperative learning strategies, students' behaviors in the classroom were actually reduced. And he noted positive interdependence between students and noticed simultaneous learning taking place. These are some cooperative learning techniques and activities that we can apply in our classrooms fairly easily. One that I found to be helpful is pairing strategies and cooperative learning techniques. This includes pairing students with a student that they already have a positive relationship with, so that they can be a sort of model for that student. It helps to promote both students' learning by giving them someone that they can relate to and someone that they trust and can look up to. The other cooperative learning activity that we can easily incorporate into the classroom is the jigsaw method. This is within the small groups, giving students specific jobs to do to solve a larger problem, so that they're working independently but towards the same goal at the end. In conclusion, diverging from traditional teaching methods based on the need to provide better accommodations to students with special needs. As things change in our school systems, we need to be continually looking at what we're doing and seeing how that we can better accommodate these students and their unique needs that they may have. And incorporating some cooperative learning definitely will help promote those social skills and interactions that we all hope our students are learning. Cooperative learning is one technique that can also help improve classroom climate, develop social emotional skills, and increase learning. But it's also important to remember that it takes time and consistency when applying new strategies in your classroom. And one of the biggest takeaways that I learned from doing all of this research was that it took 6 to 8 weeks for teachers to notice significant changes in their classrooms, but that after they had stuck with them and been consistent, that they found that students' general learning and social emotional skills had gone up. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed our presentation. Thank you.